Hello everyone, and welcome back to History of the Ancient World. Today, we're journeying into one of history's most enchanting mysteries, the Hanging Gardens of Babylon. Were they a breathtaking reality or simply a beautiful legend? Let's dig in and find out. The story begins with King Nebuchadnezzar II, who ruled the mighty Neo-Babylonian Empire around 600 BC. According to legend, he built the gardens for his homesick wife Amidis. She came from the green, mountainous land of Media, and the flat, sun-baked plains of Mesopotamia made her sad. To please her, the king decided to recreate her lush homeland, right in the middle of his sprawling capital, Babylon. Imagine this, a magnificent terraced structure rising from the desert like a man-made mountain. Ancient writers described it as a series of ascending tiers, almost like a giant green pyramid. Each level was said to be filled with exotic trees, fragrant flowers, and cascading vines. It would have been an incredible sight, a vibrant splash of life against the dusty backdrop of the city. These weren't just simple flower pots on a balcony. We're talking about a massive, multi-level botanical marvel, so high that it seemed to hang in the air, earning its famous name. So, how could they have built such a thing? The engineering required would have been astounding for its time. The terraces were likely built with baked brick and bitumen, a natural asphalt, to make them waterproof. Then they would have been covered with a deep layer of soil, thick enough to support large trees. This structure would need to be incredibly strong to hold the immense weight of all that earth, water, and plant life. It was a feat of architecture that would have rivaled the pyramids. But the real challenge wasn't just building it. It was keeping it alive. Babylon is in modern-day Iraq, a region known for its scorching heat and little rainfall. To water a garden of this scale would have required a sophisticated irrigation system. Historians believe they might have used a device called a chain pump. This would involve two large wheels, one at the top and one at the bottom, connected by a chain with buckets attached. Slaves would continuously turn a handle connected to the upper wheel, pulling the chain up. As the buckets reached the top, they would tip over, pouring water into a channel that then distributed it throughout the gardens, flowing from the highest terrace down to the lowest. This constant supply of water from the nearby Euphrates River would have been the lifeblood of the gardens, allowing this green paradise to flourish in the middle of the desert. Now, for the big question, did the Hanging Gardens actually exist? Here's where things get tricky. Despite the vivid descriptions from later Greek and Roman writers like Strabo, Diodorus Siculus, and Quintus Curtius Rufus, there's a surprising lack of evidence from the Babylonians themselves. We have thousands of cuneiform tablets from Nebuchadnezzar's reign, detailing his great construction projects, like the city walls and temples. Yet, not a single one mentions a colossal terraced garden. It's a massive hole in the historical record. If you built one of the 7 wonders of the world, wouldn't you want to brag about it? Furthermore, archaeologists have been excavating the ruins of Babylon for over a century, and they've found no definitive location for the gardens. They've unearthed the foundations of Nebuchadnezzar's Grand Palace, the famous Ishtar Gate, and the city's massive ziggurat, but the gardens remain elusive. Some scholars have proposed potential sites near the palace or by the river, but the evidence is circumstantial at best. Without any solid archaeological proof or a mention in Babylonian texts, many historians have concluded that the Hanging Gardens of Babylon were nothing more than a myth, a beautiful story that grew over time. But wait, there's another theory. A fascinating twist in our story. Dr. Stephanie Daly, an Oxford University scholar, has proposed a radical idea. What if the gardens did exist, but they weren't in Babylon at all? What if they were in Nineveh, the capital of the rival Assyrian Empire, hundreds of miles to the north? Dr. Daly argues that the Greek historians who wrote about the gardens confused Babylon with Nineveh. This isn't as far-fetched as it sounds. The Assyrian king, Sennacherib, who ruled about a century before Nebuchadnezzar, was also a prolific builder. And unlike in Babylon, we have extensive Assyrian records and palace reliefs that describe and depict magnificent gardens in Nineveh. Sennacherib himself boasted in his inscriptions about creating a palace without rival and a garden that was a wonder for all peoples. He wrote about planting a vast array of trees and plants from across his empire. What's more, Assyrian reliefs from Nineveh show a beautiful, lush garden on a terrace watered by an aqueduct. Sennacherib was a master of water engineering, and he built a massive system of canals and aqueducts to bring water to his city from the mountains, a feat of engineering that would have been more than capable of sustaining such a garden. So it's possible that soldiers returning from campaigns in Assyria told stories of these amazing gardens, and over time, as the Assyrian Empire fell and Babylon rose, the location of the gardens in these stories shifted. The legend became attached to Babylon's most famous king, Nebuchadnezzar, and the hanging gardens of Babylon were born in the popular imagination. This theory neatly explains the lack of evidence in Babylon and the abundance of it in Nineveh. It suggests the hanging gardens were real, just misplaced by history. It's a compelling argument that has gained a lot of traction among historians. It means one of the 7 wonders of the ancient world might have been hiding in plain sight all along, just under a different name and in a different city. So where does that leave us? The mystery of the hanging gardens of Babylon endures. Was it a romantic gift from a Babylonian king? A masterpiece of engineering that has since vanished without a trace? Or was it an Assyrian wonder, mistakenly attributed to a rival city by later storytellers? Or perhaps it was never a physical place at all, but an idealized vision of paradise, a legend passed down through generations. The truth is, we may never know for sure, and maybe that's part of its enduring appeal. The hanging gardens represent a dream of beauty and ingenuity, a testament to humanity's desire to create paradise on earth. Whether they were built of brick and soil or of words and imagination, they have captured our fascination for thousands of years. They remain a symbol of a lost wonder, forever hanging in the misty realms between history and myth. What do you think? Were the gardens in Babylon, Nineveh, or only in our dreams? Let me know your theories in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this journey into the ancient past, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss our next adventure. See you next time on History of the Ancient World.